Welcome to the OBR streaming network. This is All Eyes on Cleveland. My name is Brad Ward. The man next to me is the always amazing, always entertaining off-season Case. What is happening, Big Case Dog?
Back at the friendly confines of home.
Yes.
Didn't get my setup right for tonight, so we're getting this angle of it.
It's okay.
I was excited, man. I've had enough drama for a week. I'm ready just to talk ball.
Yeah, let's talk some ball. We got lots of ball to talk. There's lots going on. This is going to be, I can just tell we're in the early throes of off season. You can just tell it's going to be a wild one.
Oh, yeah.
The drama is just all over the place. It's madness, right? Silly season mixed with the Browns drama.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. The number 2 pick, lots to discuss. Good to see the chat filling in. What's up to everybody that's joining us here on All Eyes on Cleveland? Good to see you all here. As usual, make sure you hit like and subscribe on your way in or out, atoning for your sins. It only takes a second. It's totally free and helps us out a ton over at the OBR. Make sure you're over at theobr.com where the insiders, draft specialists are doing work every day to give you the top-notch coverage of your Cleveland Browns in this pivotal offseason of 2025. I want to start tonight on Shedeur Sanders. So there seems to be, I don't know if, you mentioned it off air, Nathan Zagura, who has been tooting the horn of one Shedeur Sanders on that show, right? And on Cleveland Browns Daily. And, Zagura's usually pretty plugged in. Now, this time of year where there's a lot of smoke and smoke screen and, because you never know, because at 2, if they want somebody to trade up, you could just be talking up anybody for any reason. Now, to take it to the radio show, I don't know.
Yeah. Do they think the ops are tuning in to Browns Daily?
Are they listening? Yeah.
I mean, there's 71 days between now and the draft.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot early. It's pretty early to put someone in cement and be like, this is the lock. It's this or nothing.
Yeah. Zagura maybe tuned in, but I don't like what he's listening to, says Fumble. Agreed. I'm there with you. And now I must admit, I did my mock of the week, and I did Shedeur it too because of this stuff. And a lot of it stems from, there was a clip on YouTube, okay, of Shedeur on Well Off Media YouTube account where he's in the weight room, I believe, in Colorado. He gets asked about his visits. His first visit is with the Browns. And then he said the Giants also. That's the only 2 he has scheduled right now, he says in the video. Now, last month, Barry said that he didn't believe Dion would intervene in this situation. He also... if you watch Dion at all on Radio Row, I thought he handled it very well. He said he would never make it public of any of the teams that he had an issue with. He's already spoken to the Browns and the Giants, he claimed, and asked some questions. He really didn't seem like he would get in the way at all.
Yeah.
Now, do you believe him? I don't know.
It's bad for business for him to say otherwise. Same thing with Barry. Yeah. Barry can't be like, Dion thinks we're trash. He's not going to let him come here.
Right.
But anyone to say anything negative right now.
Yeah. And he was very, though, like, kind of not like he sounded initially, like he's like, just let the process take its place. I just have questions about, it's my son. I just
probably regretted saying what he said back, months ago.
Surely. Yeah.
I'm sure, like, he's like, cause he has a mic in front of him at all times and he shoots from the hip. You know what I mean? So,
yes. Here's what Barry said at the was this at Senior Bowl? Maybe. He's poised, he's calm, he's smart, and you can tell that he's been raised by, quite honestly, a Hall of Fame dad. This quote has been used a lot recently. We're going to get to know him even more over the course of the spring, but he's very impressive, or really impressive, pardon me. So, Sanders, who's 23, we know started his career at Jackson State, 2 years at Colorado. Last season, 74% of his passes completed for 4,134 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. There's some question about the strength of their schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you've done the work on him, as have I. And before I dive into my reason why I think the Browns, and I do think this, I think the Browns are considering it.
They have to.
Yeah. I do think they are considering it, which is why I mocked him. Hope you enjoyed my mock today. I don't know if anybody looked. Did you look at it, Case?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think?
Well, spoiler, I have a mock coming out in 2 days for the same series,
Okay.
and we have one player in the same position.
Who's that?
And it's not Shedeur. Josh Connerly.
Oh, at 33?
Yes.
I kind of like him at 33. That would be a good spot to take him, especially
I think
if
he's
you
a first-round talent. I think that rep against Mike Green might cause him to slide, which is a good thing for us.
Yeah. Thanks, Manimal. Appreciate the read, brother. Yeah. And then I have before I go into my Sanders thing, I took Travion Henderson with their 3rd pick. Now, I'm doing the running backs right now, but I love Travion Henderson. I think he is close, and this is a hot take. I think he is close in the NFL, will be close to Genty as a back. Like, he has it all, man. The burst, the speed, the passing game, he is it all. He is a weapon. Now, he can't be, he's not going to be your bell cow right away, but I think he brings the element that the Browns need as a weapon, like a weapon you can use in the running back room. I think Henderson is that guy out of this class of the top. And now I think there's some guys. I'm an advocate of taking 2 backs in this class. I also went Jordan James later, who I also really like, and is comparable to his former teammate Bucky Irving a little bit in that respect. But I do like both of those guys, and I think that would turn around that room pretty well. I want explosive guys that can take it to the house right away. So just a hot take on Travion. I think he is elite.
That is
what do you
that
think?
qualifies. That qualifies. I know that you're starting to hear scouts that are pretty high on him, pretty high because of his well-rounded skill set. Because I agree that I don't think he'd be a workhorse back right away, but like you can have him out there in all 3 phases. He can can handle pass pro. He can be the receiver out of the backfield. He can actually run some routes. He's explosive. He can hit the long ball. You know what I mean? He checks a lot of boxes, and he's always been in a platoon. So he's not like overworked. He's not coming in with a million reps in college, even though he was in college forever. But yeah, no, he looks like he's someone who's going to be a riser. But this is such a phenomenal draft class for running back.
I see the chat. Barking Brown saying RB5. Michael saying Hampton. I like him better than Hampton. I like him better than Caleb Johnson. I know that's hot, but to me, I think he's more explosive than both guys.
I see Caleb a better fit in a zone system.
Yeah. Caleb has great vision. I think he's a polished runner. Caleb
might not test as well. I think Henderson's going to test stupid.
Yeah. I think Caleb is a more polished runner in right now, but I think like if you're looking to add like a guy like Bijan, the way that Atlanta used him as a weapon or is using him as a weapon, or even what's the kid from Detroit's name?
Gibbs.
Gibbs. If you're looking for a Gibbs type or Bijan type that can change your offense, I think that guy is Henderson, personally.
Nice. Good get.
I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how they test. Will be a big thing at the combine. Combine invite list came out, so
there's just going to be so many backs available between round 3 and 5 that are like starting caliber running backs in the league.
There's so many studs. Dylan Sampson's a stud. Neal's a stud from Kansas.
Yes. Another one who'd be good in his own system.
A lot of these guys are fit. So and I definitely, they got to get 2 out of this class. I think you circle back and get another one.
Yeah.
Late with all those 200s picks, but either way. So I got off track though. We got talking about that. I wanted to talk.
What?
Me off track? Are you kidding me? You guys are watching All Eyes on Cleveland on the OBR streaming network. That's Casey Kinnamon. My name is Brad Ward. Hope you're enjoying. Hit like and subscribe, and I appreciate you guys participating in the chat. We always encourage that. So, why the Browns are thinking about Sanders? Best chance of job security for the front office is to have a quarterback at the end of 2025 to point to and say, he could be our guy. He sells the dream of hope, and hope is a powerful thing. So while I disagree with it, I don't think that they should go Sanders, but here's why I think they're thinking about it. Things I think I know, which will be on tomorrow night, but here's the thing I think I know. I think they are thinking about it seriously. And the reason why is because I think it plays to their job security, right? They could point to him at the end of the year, if he even played decent ball when he gets in, and say he gets in halfway through the year, right? And they can point to him and say, here's our quarterback of the future. And I think it's possible if Stefanski sets him up properly, because I think he can be a good pro. I just don't think he can be great. And so you don't take that with number 2, but when you're in Barry's situation, you have a lot of pressure too. Can he not succumb to that pressure and make the right football move? I don't know. I just think there are some things I like about him. He has some natural passing stuff that I really like about him.
I think if I were to give you one attribute of his that I think translates easily, and that's the accuracy.
Yeah.
Can you coach him to be on schedule? Can you kind of coach the hero ball out of him early? He can develop those traits later. I think it's a hard sell for Stefanski, though. Like you have to win. You have to figure out a way to win.
You don't think Stefanski can say, I can win with him?
Right out the gate, no. So if you draft him at 2, you're still looking at a veteran to start the season?
Probably.
That's where my mind goes. So how much of the season does he have to play for them to be able to point to him and be like, he's our hope? Like there's a line there, man. If you're telling like AB, maybe he sees it in that light. Stefanski, I think he thinks he can win with average quarterback play.
I think that after Sanders, Sanders' ceiling tops out at like maybe top 15.
Yeah. And here's where I diverge from Browns Daily. And they're saying that if you think he can be a top 16 player, you automatically take him. I can't get there with that, man. Drafting a quarterback to draft a quarterback nonsense.
No, it's nonsense.
You trust your evaluations. If your evaluations tell you, even if it's 2 or 3 years down the line, he can be a guy that can realistically go in season out, win double-digit games. Okay. That's not a top 16 guy in this league. That's not what happens.
I agree with you. It's bad process to do it this way. And it's like, like you said, it's just taking quarterback to take quarterback because you can say you took a swing at the position that makes the difference, right? It's bad process. So, but fumble once again, highlighting what I keep coming back to. If Haslam gives him assurances on job security, he'll do the right football thing.
Yeah.
You should do the right football thing anyways, but it's when your back's against the wall, I'm just saying that taking a quarterback can reset that clock for you as a GM. You know what I
But if
mean?
they've been given assurances, then why make a move out of desperation?
No, I'm saying if they haven't been given assurances, though.
But then you have to play him a ton to instill the hope.
But if you take him, though, like here's the thing. So you take him, say if you take him, hypothetically, if Barry takes him,
Yeah.
and then you turn around, are you going to do what the Bears did, like with Caleb? Take him, turn around, and fire his head coach? You just wasted a year. Like you're going to do what you did to
We've
Baker
seen this
Mayfield.
movie, right?
Yeah, we've seen this
We've
movie,
seen
right?
this movie.
So like, can't you like? Doesn't that kind of like you point back? Yeah, Cam
It
Ward,
depends on
man.
how,
Well,
man. It just depends on how bad the start is at that point. If you're starting a rookie and you go out there and go 1-6, even if he has a great end of the year, that first part might be so rocky. Some guys might not survive it.
I agree. I don't think he starts the year though. If they draft him, I think you start a veteran. Either way, I don't love the idea. I'm just saying why I think the Browns will consider it. Why I don't think they've decided yet, but I think they are contemplating taking a quarterback at 2.
They have to. We talked about it before. That net's got to be wide, brother. Yeah. And then you better bring in all the quarterbacks you can bring in and talk to. And I'm not a pro Shedeur guy, but it's the same thing with I feel the same way with Cam Ward. You better bring him in for an interview.
Yeah.
You better get him on a whiteboard. You better figure out what he knows, what he doesn't know. You know, I exhaust all possibilities. I mean, because none of our evaluations are 100% accurate.
Right.
And that's the reason I'm like, I don't agree with taking a quarterback. Just take quarterback. But if you take a quarterback because your evaluations tell you he can be the dude, I'm completely fine with it.
Right. If they love him, that's fine.
Solved.
The thing I think the public is pushing when they say you just got to take a quarterback here. When are you going to have this opportunity again? You keep hearing that, right? From like the fan base, but it's bad process. But if you do that, you're relying on the variance, right? That we see. The variance is pretty big on quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. Evaluations from what they projected to be and what they become in the NFL. It's pretty wide variance. So you can take a Trevor Lawrence and he can be average like he is now. You know what I mean? Where he was projected to be so much more. Or you can take, nobody expected Jaden Daniels to do what he did. So like,
but we can even go
saying
further than that and talk about guys lower in the draft. We're talking about someone we just watched win a Super Bowl on Sunday, who, when he was at the Senior Bowl, scouts were asking, hey, is Jalen Hurts going to take reps at running back?
Yeah.
That the evals were all over the place on that kid.
He's not the reason they won the Super Bowl, though.
No, I'm not trying to say you don't know, but
he's not even a top 10 quarterback to me.
I think that's borderline. I would hesitate to name 9 guys I'd rather have. I'm not saying he's elite, but I'm saying if you draft a guy, you have a plan for him. That's all that matters. Like we talked about this on Tuesday on the Barking Browns, the analogy of, do you have quarterbacks in the 3 categories: truck, trailer, and hitch? Truck drives the thing. Trailer's a quarterback that gets pulled along. Sometimes you just have a hitch, a guy that holds it all together. I think Jalen Hurts is probably a hitch, right?
Yeah.
But a hitch with a plan you can win with. It's about having a plan, for a vision for what you see, for how you envision implementing these guys into your offense and what you think their parameters are going to be as far as getting the most out of the rest of your team. And I think Hurts does that. Now, if you're down 21 points, is Hurts going to throw you back into a game? No. I think Russell was the same way. Russell came in the league a hitch.
Yeah. I'm not talking about trading Lawrence or anything like that. I don't. Is that a real thing? That's not a real thing for me.
Not for me, but I haven't seen this. I just saw people commenting on it.
Yeah.
That the Jaguars kind of let it be known that people are calling, asking if Trevor is available, but saying that he's not. But by announcing that, you're drumming up the interest that people are.
You're saying, go ahead and call and give me an offer.
No, but people have been calling.
There is a dead cap situation there as well. So The thing though with this um the right move is to take the best football player here or trade back and take the best football player, in my opinion.
Yes.
But yeah, the issue is that I don't know if the Browns are there yet because there's so many mitigating factors. This Myles thing is a factor in it if you want as well. So that's why I think that you agree that you don't think they've made a decision, do you?
No, there's 71 days, man.
All right. So, and you think they could take a quarterback potentially?
It's on. Yeah, it has to be on the board for him.
Do you think for them, like compared to like, okay, I'm one of the guys who actually likes Dart a lot. We know that. I think Dart is up there with Shedeur. I like them both similarly. So for me, it it is what it is there. But either way, none of them. And Cam is a little bit. Cam has the tools. There's just for the more I watch Cam stuff and talk about him and listen to things, there's just a lot there that you have to go a lot further to get him to where I don't know, dude. He looks so much like Deshaun Watson to me playing out there.
And that might be the PTSD speaking right there.
It might be the PTSD.
Just dealing with Deshaun Watson.
He looks like Deshaun. He runs
he's a more
like
talented
him.
passer than Deshaun.
Maybe
the footwork stuff's erratic. You know, he's going to have to have a lot of things coached out of him. And when you're talking about a number one overall prospect or someone who's vying for it, you don't want to have those concerns. Like
he was like a 0-star guy. He started at Incarnate Word. I mean, like the pedigree's not there, right? Like it's crazy that he even ended up at Miami playing like this, right?
Yeah, he was. Even though when he was an Incarnate Word, that's when he came on my radar.
He's raw, I think.
It's like weird too, because like when we talk about raw, what are we talking about? Anthony Richardson, a guy who had like 16 starts or something in college, as opposed to Cam Ward, who has like so many different systems, so many different schools, and he's still raw. That's
See, I don't know. I'm still in the boat of you go veteran, you see what you can drum up in the veteran market and take Abdul Carter at 2 or trade back and get a player.
That's where my mind's been the whole time, but I also can't deny that if their evaluations lead them to quarterback, I can't be mad at it, man.
I can't. If they
go out on your shield,
we're never going to know the truth whether they settled or not because they're going to come up there and say they love them. And listen, here's the thing. I think between us and like anybody that's watched, you got to admit that they settled. Like behind closed doors, you can't tell me that these are guys that have watched football. This is what they do for a living. That they went up and said, "Oh yeah, we love him so much that we feel like taking him at 2 overall." They're going to tell us that no matter what.
Yeah.
But the reality is they may just take him because they feel like they need to take a quarterback this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you, hope is a powerful thing and it can save people's jobs.
It's scary. Yeah. It's scary, man. It's, this is all projection stuff. We're always just projecting what someone's going to be. And there's probably going to be a sneaky guy that we're not high on at all that'll do something in the league, whether that's a spot starter, but someone you're not, of Hennigan at Memphis or somebody, you never know. I mean, we weren't talking about, there's always someone who talk about Cooper Rush. We weren't talking about Cooper Rush in college, someone who gets an opportunity, hangs around long enough and makes some noise. But it just feels like this draft is bereft of talent at the most crucial position.
I don't know about Raw, but Ward's definitely not the smoothest operator, making things harder. Yeah, he does. He
passes over easy for hard.
Yes. What needs to be coached out of him. Harbinger makes the point that I think that the majority of the fan base is kind of saying, and I get where they're coming from, right? I get this thought, right? Some people are saying we can't pass on Abdul Carter, but we've had we have too many needs, and there are other options at edge. We've had the best edge rusher in the league for 8 years and made the playoffs twice. And this is what people are saying. They're saying it. The only position that makes immediate impact, like fans want an impact, is quarterback. And
you can't squeeze blood out of the stone. If it ain't there, it ain't there.
I know. But
I get
it's
what they're
also
saying.
when you're picking
Quarterback
at 2,
is by far the most impactful position.
If you're picking at 2, it's different than picking at 15. If you're at 15 and you take Shedeur Sanders this year, or even late in the first round, it's a different story than picking him at 2 overall.
Yep.
So you got to decide what's what there. I'll be interested to see what, I like Carter's film, all that stuff. I'll be interested to see his size at the combine.
Yeah.
He looks small to me at times.
He looks thin in the waist. So you wonder where the 250's at. Like, how are you 250?
Yeah, and where is, if he needs to add weight, where's he going to put it?
Yeah. Yeah, those are legitimate.
Thoughts?
Legitimate.
All right, you're watching All Eyez on Cleveland. My dog Case Kinnamon with us. We got a jam-packed chat, contributing with great insight as usual. I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on your way in or out. All right, so a couple things I also want to hit here tonight. I want to hit free agency needs by looking at who the Browns free agents are. We haven't really done that yet.
Nope.
Kind of go through that list. I want to look at a proposed trade for Myles from Dog Pound Daily, and I think they're onto something with the team that they proposed. If you're the Browns fan, but I also want to, when we talk about the Myles thing, I want to preface it with everything that I've always talked about with the Myles thing. And I want to get your opinion, Casey, on the Myles thing, because we had Jack on last week and we went over all the financials in detail, but I really didn't get your hardcore thoughts on this. And I want to get what you think about that. I want to start before that, though, with Travis Hunter enters the combine as a cornerback. Zagura said he'd be a better chance of being a top 4 pick as a wide receiver. To me, I've heard a lot of, what Pete says on the React is that he would rather play him on offense and part-time on defense. I don't like that idea. That seems crazy to me. The thing that seems most natural is to play him as a corner and part-time offensive weapon. That's my thought. That's what the elite cornerbacks that have been good enough to use on offense in the past have always just done it part-time on offense. Why did you make that noise? Because you like him as an offensive weapon too much?
No, not at all. It's his fit at cornerback. We need to see at the combine. I hope he goes through all the drills, because what do we see from him in college? He's an elite zone quarterback. His ability to get eyes on a quarterback and make them and bluff them in the throws and be athletic enough to react and jump. We don't play enough zone for me to be like, okay, I need to see him in press man situations.
You worry about him in man.
People on the line, mirror, the stuff that you'll be asked to do if you play in Schwartz's defense. And if I were to go the route that Pete says, I'm playing him at receiver and free safety. Get an extra safety on the field. Let him be the ball hawk center fielder with eyes on the football at all times. Yeah. I could see that. And I just need to see his mirror abilities. He's a phenomenal athlete. He was the number 1 athlete coming out of high school. He's been that dude his whole life.
No doubt.
Can he do it? Probably, but we just haven't seen him do that. What you would have to do in this defense. But if he can do that, I have no issues with taking him and letting him play corner if he can do that.
Yeah. I think you're on to something with the free safety idea. Because you got Delpit there. Even just moving him to free safety in general, and you just let his natural football IQ, and his ability to stop and go, read, react is tremendous. So you like him watching the quarterback back there. He could be a problem.
Yeah, he could.
From free safety. So I like that.
But he's not going to do that full time because that doesn't pay.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't pay. But I just think that if I would use him at receiver full time and then have him kind of moonlight as that third safety and have him be the free when he's in.
I think that it was kind of surprised me that he's going in as a corner because of the pay thing.
Yeah.
You look at how wide receivers pay is going up.
The 20th receiver makes more than the 5th cornerback.
Yes.
Not.
Now, the top are close, but it's the middle area where it drops off for corners, right?
Yep.
So I was surprised at that because there's more money in being a wide receiver.
Well, he said prior to this, before they made that announcement today, that he was going to run all the cornerback drills and do some wide receiver stuff.
I agree with this. I don't think that he's on the Browns' radar at all.
Yeah, well, like I said, if he fancies himself a corner, he just plays a ton of zone. There's definitely, you see Cooper DeJean, you see guys who can do this. You know what I mean? And it depends on the defense that's implemented. In this particular defense, we're not in zone a ton.
No.
We utilize his skill set.
I don't know for sure that he can't play man, though.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him exposed by.
That's the reason I'm excited he's going to do the combine stuff. I want to see press man, see the hips, see mirror stuff. I want to see all that.
I think you're going to love that. Honestly, I don't doubt that he can. There's nothing in me that doubts what he can do physically or can be taught to do.
Yeah. I mean, he's like I said,
a freak. Yeah. So
number one athlete coming out of high school.
So I kind of agree with what Jeff is saying in the chat that he's not on my radar really, but if he's gonna be a lockdown corner and he shows me he can play some man, he's more on my radar.
And it's also holding up to the tackling responsibilities in the NFL too.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what really makes me uneasy about him trying to go both ways. It's like, okay, you're going to play receiver, then you're going to flip around and have to fit run support. I don't like that. That's a tough 80 snaps, man.
Yeah. Agreed. Just thought it was worth bringing that up and playing 80 snaps. I don't know how realistic that is.
It doesn't sound realistic at all.
No.
Like when you actually go back and dig in, and like, would you say Deion's the most successful to play both ways? And it wasn't full time, but
who else did it? Who else has done it?
The dude from New England, not Law, Troy. They're in the first Super Bowl run. He went both ways.
Did Ty Law do it?
Not Ty Law, no. Troy Brown.
Troy Brown.
Yeah. He had a deflection as a cornerback in the Super Bowl, scored a touchdown. Like he was nice with it.
He was good both ways.
Yeah, because he played out of necessity, and then it just kind of worked. I thought Chris Gamble was going to do it when he come in the league. They ended up just playing him at DB.
Yeah, that's what tends to happen, right?
Yeah. So, but I'm saying, so you would think Deion's by far like the example, right?
That's who I was thinking of as Hester. Hester became a decent wide receiver.
I mean,
was he really that good on either? He's better on special teams than anything.
Yeah, by far. His real value is special teams. But back to Deion. How many touchdowns do you think he has in his career on offense?
How many touchdowns?
Yeah.
I don't know. 6, 7?
4. And that's the biggest example we can point to where it's semi-worked. And I think it's like 36 receptions or something like that.
I don't know Mel Gray. But good call, Fumble.
Yeah, Mel Gray. See Mel Gray return punts.
Mike Fury. Do you know who that is?
No, I can't say that I do.
Chat is so knowledgeable.
It's good, though. I keep the names coming.
Yeah.
Like if you had asked me if Fury was a real guy, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, me neither. The thought, though, being, Dion did it the best.
To marginal success.
That's the thing is you can't. It's hard to do. It's hard to do in the NFL, no matter what. You're not gonna sell me on that he is going. Like, I'm going in with my expectations of him as a one-way player. There's no way I'm drafting him thinking he's going to make an impact on two ways. I want to draft him as an elite player on one side of the ball, and if I get more, it's a bonus. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you can draft him with the expectations that he is going to be a contributor on both sides of the ball. That's wild to me until he proves it.
Yeah, and you've talked about it. I don't see him at the best at either of those positions in this particular draft.
That's the other thing. He's not the best wide receiver, and he's not the best corner. So if you take him in the top 5, you're kind of taking him as a novelty act.
If you plan to play him both ways, but if you take him with the hope, see, once again, there's that word, that by narrowing his focus, he can be a tip of the spear at one of those positions.
Yeah,
that's viable. I mean, just based on what we've seen him do while doing everything, maybe if you just like, okay, we're just doing this now, then he's got the elite athleticism.
Okay. Jacob has him as wide receiver 1 on his board. Interesting. Some guys do. Zook asked if he is. He definitely is a wide receiver 1, or has the potential to be for sure.
Yeah. It just feels like a hat on a hat for us because him and Judy have overlapping skill sets.
Very similar.
In size and, Can't believe we don't recall Mike Fury in Cleveland. Buddy, I don't.
Okay. Moving on from Hunter. Let's go back to last week a little bit, and I want to talk about Myles for a minute. We won't spend too much time on it because Hunter and Travion equal is explosive offense. Yeah. It certainly adds the explosiveness on offense. We're talking about taking 2 different positions as well. But here we go. All right, so back to the Myles thing, right? I had to throw this up just because I like the graphic so much.
Yeah, it's good. Good graphic. It is.
Yeah, to put some of my finer work. All right, so the thought here, and once again, you can't talk about this. I'm not going to do what the guys on the radio do, 92.3 The Fan, and even NFL.com and everybody else does, and just randomly talk about as if you can trade Myles Garrett in a vacuum and that you can just recoup the assets from the trade and just go on about your offseason, because it's not that, and it never will be that. And unless you address it that way, you're doing a disservice to anybody listening. So once again, $35 million up to $50 million, $60 million, Jack said, of spending power is going to go out the door when you trade him away. You almost hit the red button and you go auto reset. You're going to have to sell off parts. You're agreeing to rebuild if you trade him away.
Yes.
Are we in agreement?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not moving off of.
No.
Quincy Carrier said this on last week's Things I Think I Know. And I forget if it was on the air or off the air, but I got to give him credit to this last Friday. So he said, if Andrew Berry can navigate this offseason, not take the quarterback, take the best player available, or trade back and take the best player, you know what I mean? Not fall into the trap of taking the quarterback at 2 and fend off this Myles trade thing, keep him. He has balls of steel to get through this offseason doing both of those things. It's a tough task.
How he's handled it so far, because from all accounts, when we heard the statement, hey, we envision Myles going straight from Cleveland to Canton. That's how we envision him. At that point, Myles had already requested a trade behind the scenes, according to him.
Yeah.
So for him to there was no tell when they asked about Myles Garrett. Andrew, you know what I mean? I know Garrett threw the statement back in his face. Like that's a pejorative, like that's negative that he said that about him.
Yeah. Which is absurd.
Yeah. 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 But it's like what incentive do you have to move off Myles Garrett with 2 years on the contract?
You don't have one.
None.
The only way it's valuable to you is if you can use the assets towards winning, which you can't do. You can't use the assets towards winning because when you trade him, you can't even be competitive in 2025. Because not only are you getting rid of Myles, but you're going to have to trade off Ward and all your key pieces. Conklin, you can't do it. So you're fully in the camp that you can't trade him.
Yeah, this is completely short-sighted on Myles' his representation.
Yeah,
there was no play to be made here. So for him to go public does nothing. It hurts us in free agency. You know, like the national perception of Cleveland is bad enough, you know, just from a base level. But if you're a free agent who was like considering the Browns because you want to play next to Myles Garrett, or you know you like that defense, and this kind of stuff hurts that.
Chat says we're being non-productive by discussing it. Okay.
Well, but it's like you said, it's all we're going to hear is every time I turn around, someone's magically getting him to Green Bay or Detroit or Buffalo. And it's like those dudes don't have. If I'm going to trade Myles Garrett, which I'm not even considering because he has 2 years on his deal, if this was next year and we're at the same spot and he has 1 year left on the contract and it's evident they're not going to be able to come to an agreement and extend him, then I have these conversations. But I'm still not getting rid of him for a pick that's not in the top 10. Like there's the Family Guy thing where it's like the mystery box. You could have this yacht or you could have the mystery box. It could even be a yacht. The best case scenario is you draft the next Myles Garrett. Like you already have Myles Garrett. There's no there's no incentive to get rid of him.
Well, the point for me, it's more about it's not even. It's like if this was a situation where you could take the assets, okay, I would listen to it because whatever. If you're gonna give me a can't turn away from it deal,
yes,
that's fine. Like 3 1s or something like that. But like 2 1s and a player that can help you right away, that's fine. But the situation isn't tenable as soon as he walks out the door.
Nope.
The house of cards that is your salary cap collapses.
Yep.
And you can't function in 2025, so you're automatically in a rebuild. If they go to that point, then you might as well fire Barry right now.
Yeah.
He knows that.
Yeah, surely they didn't get the assurances that they could do this, just get a whole fresh restart. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. The only way that you move off of Myles Garrett is if it gives you a direct path to getting a franchise quarterback. And they can say the number of ones. That none of that shit matters. It's where are the ones. Like if you're telling me I'm getting 2 picks inside the top 5, okay, I'll take. But like that's not happening. That's make believe.
And it still doesn't help you for now.
Not
You're
this
still
year.
going into reset.
I'm talking about next year after he's got 1 year left on his deal.
Still tough. Still 21 days.
No, dude, it's a terrible situation. Like, but it's also not a situation. It's just a talking point because he's going nowhere. All he's doing is making this shit hella awkward when he has to show up to training camp.
Yep, I agree with that. So let's go to. I just wanted to do this and to chat's point, chat username _username in the chat. I don't want to be unproductive with our time, but I did find this trade. And I think that the Bears, if it ever came to it, I think that the Bears are a good target for the Browns because I don't think the Bears are going to be that good. And yet you could sell them, on potentially being a contender. No?
The quarterback in place, hot coordinator coach now.
So
offensive firepower. He would.
Yeah.
And you put him on there with Montez Sweat, he'd have a running mate right away.
Yeah. So here is this trade that they put together. This is from Browns. What did I say? Dog Pound Daily.
Shout out to my ex-label.
Yeah. Damien something. All right. Anyways, Chicago Bears received Myles Garrett and Greg Newsome. Now, what they contend in the and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because what they contend in the article is that Newsome mitigates some of the cap factor because you're trading off what is going to be a $13 million cap hit player playing on his 5th-year option this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that by including him in the trade, it does mitigate some of this trade.
It's like a net 23.
Yeah. So it doesn't save you, but maybe it gives you a little more wiggle room.
But it also does the thing I said. It gives you a potential path to a franchise quarterback. Because I'm with you. I think Chicago is probably picking inside the top 10 next year. First year with the head coach.
It's the only way it's feasible. So
and I like
Myles
and Tyler Scott.
I don't know what I thought they were just a quarterback away. Who said that? And what are we talking about? What are you talking about, Ja? If you're gonna throw barbs out, I don't know what that's referencing. No, you're good. You're excused, Philly. No fine. Oh, the Bears? Oh, I don't know what the Bears deal is. But either way, Myles Garrett, Greg Newsome, a 4th, a 6th. You get the 10th overall pick, so you drop back to 10, right? Or you don't drop back, but you get the 10th this year and a 1st next year, which could be a top 10 pick. Second, you get their 2nd this year, so you get 41 overall this year. You get Kieran. Now, how was his rookie year? Not good, right?
Not great, no.
We wanted him last year as a tackle.
It's just such a tough transition to come in right away.
Right.
And he was hurt his senior year in college.
And then Tyler Scott, who had 1 reception. So I don't know what the point of adding those 2 guys in the trade are. I get the Kieran ad because he's a tackle prospect.
Tyler Scott's a speed merchant, man. He was, but
Cincinnati, right?
Obviously, it hasn't worked.
Cincinnati?
Yes.
Yeah. Jeff says he would do this trade in a heartbeat. It's a lot. Here's the thing. I still don't think you can navigate the cap, even with Newsome in the trade.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it, but gun to head, this is one I would consider, which is why I put it up there. Like, if they were going rebuild, this is one I would consider.
It's one of the most reasonable. Yeah, for sure.
However, I still don't think they can budge on it based off the money.
No, you're under contract for 2 years, buddy.
Yeah. And control for 4. You can't do it this year for sure.
No.
Like, can you get it to next year? I don't think so. I don't even think there's a way to do that. Unless just making him come back and play on his current deal, which would really piss him off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if he comes back and plays on a deal that pays him $18 million or $19 million or whatever, while the best edge in the game is making 34.
Yeah. Yep.
Not going to be.
Which they don't want that. They want to pay him. They
do.
Pay this
it
guy.
Helps them to pay them. It gives them more spending power to give them the extension.
Yep.
You think it's going to get ugly? Joe Manick says it's going to get ugly. You think it's going to get ugly? I don't think it's going to get that ugly.
I could see him not showing up for like OTAs and stuff like that, but I'm not worried about that.
Well, here's what I think is going to happen. You're going to get to free agency, and the Browns are going to start spending like they're going to make it obvious. So if they get to free agency and they don't do anything or very minimal, I'll be worried. If they get to free agency and start spending like they're competing in 2025 and start filling holes like normal, then Myles and everybody in his camp is going to know they're not moving off this trade.
Yep.
Because you can't make it work.
Can't do both. Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's when we'll see how this plays out. I don't think it's going to get that ugly, to be honest. I don't know when.
Have his feelings hurt. He's in his feelings already. So
he's already, yeah. But like in his interview that we did on the React with Eyez, he doesn't sound that resolute in his tone. Now that's just Myles.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of just sounds like, eh. But like even Rich asked him, so what if they don't trade you?
Like he hadn't considered it.
And he was like, well, of course that's within their right. And he wasn't like, well, I won't play. You know what I mean? He just, yeah. We'll see.
The X factor is what he's getting in his ear from his people. That's what got us to here.
But
so how will they tell
ultimately
him
that
to play
makes
it?
no impact. And those guys are trying to do NBA work in an NFL world.
Sure are. But Myles has seen everyone else get their way. You know what I mean? He's seen OBJ. He's just seen people that wanted out and got out. So he thought he took a swing. The doing it publicly is where he screwed up.
Yeah, I agree, Chef. What? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely. All right. So coming up on the hour marker, watching All Eyes on Cleveland with the always legendary Casey Kinnamon, big case dog. My name is Brad Ward. Hit like and subscribe. Appreciate you all being here. He did sound coached, OG Philly. He did. He was certainly rehearsed, and there was a couple questions that Rich brought up that he was not coached for, and you could tell which ones they were. I don't even know. Finally, last thought on this. I don't even know what teams that he considers a competitor can put together an offer that the Browns would find worthwhile. So this thing may be dead before it gets off the ground.
Yeah, that was more my head went immediately. The teams you consider contenders ain't got the assets, brother.
Not to swing that deal.
Nope.
Because you're not doing it unless it's the sun and the moon. Because not only do you get the thing back, but it sends you into a rebuild instantly. So the other team has to know that in making the trade. You know what I mean? So, thanks, MC. Agreed, DeAndre. Yeah, so good stuff. All right, so I wanted to take a look tonight. We haven't done this yet, this offseason, at the Browns free agency, right? Who is a free agent? Who do you expect to come back? Which will ultimately lead us to the greater conversation. Is free agency is just around the corner here. Is we need to start looking at who the Browns should be targeting in free agency, right? So
league New Year's 26 days from now,
right? It's not that far off.
So
yeah, exactly. So here we go. Let's talk through. There's a long list, actually.
Yeah.
So Hakeem Adeniji, back, stay or go?
Well, he was the one guy the one tackle that they added in the offseason. I was like, okay, that's a really good depth piece right there. He can play guard or tackle. It looked like he was up in line to play some serious tackle, and then there was an interception, and he blew out his knee. So I'm probably going to say go.
Hey, can you talk on this list for a second?
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Akins is a weird one because right now the Browns only have 2 tight ends under contract, and the second one, you're not going to know his name. It's David Njoku and a player whose avatar is a shadow when you look at it. Did Akins do enough that deems to be kept around? I think you can do better. I think this is a great draft for tight end. If you brought Akins back, I'm not going to be mad about it, but I think that there's a big opportunity in this draft to get a solid tight end 2 that could be eventually your tight end 1. Tony Brown, special teamer. I mean, last year we've rostered 3 or 4 of them on the practice squad. to me, you can do the same thing again. Devin Bush is where this conversation gets interesting to me. Devin Bush is a guy that I would love to bring back. He gave me more than I expected. He played fundamentally sound. I didn't see him overrun a ton of stuff. He's a phenomenal athlete, and he was way better against the run than I thought he was going to be. So to me, that's where this conversation really kicks up.
Yeah. Jed's on here, Drew. There's the second look. There's 2 pages worth of guys. Tony Brown was supposed to be the
ace,
special teams guy, but then they upgraded with who was it they brought in that upgraded that? Oh, the kid from Ohio State.
Yeah. And then they brought Mike Ford back. Like, dude, they just
Mike Ford.
You can get that guy though. You can get that guy.
Doesn't matter if it's Tony Brown. So
exactly.
The question for me is Akins. Like, a lot of people like him. They seem to as a pass catcher. I feel like I'm done with him. I
like
think you can do better.
If you told me you brought him back, I'm not mad about it, but I think I'm more interested in what you can do in the draft this year at that particular position.
I've always thought this was an interesting thought. Jed Wills, I wouldn't mind keeping him, but moving him from tackle to guard.
Yeah. Is he willing? I question that dude's want to. I hate to do that. I really hate to do that, but I have to.
I think we're done with him this offseason, to be honest. But yeah. Devin Bush, would you? I'd like to have him back as a depth piece. He played well when he had the chance. He played better than he has anyplace else since leaving Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
So, I would have Devin back on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, no argument from me.
Jaron Christian.
I was surprised when they moved off of him the year before, but when he came back, he made zero impact. None. Once again, to me, that's a replaceable player. And the thing that made him interesting before was Callahan. With Callahan not here, there's no tie. I don't see a reason to keep him.
Callahan made it work with him.
Yes.
He's gone in my opinion. He's a call him if you need him guy. So
pick him up off someone's practice squad.
What do you want to do with Nick Chubb?
I'm trying to resign Nick Chubb.
Yeah, what kind of deal though?
Oh no, I mean I think he's well aware. Like, I think you're looking at a 1 to 2 year deal, slightly above vet minimum. You know?
Yeah.
$2 million a season, 2.5 at best, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe, but they'll give him a signing bonus, and there'll be incentives in there in case he actually turns into the superhero that he was in years past. But I just think people are writing him off too quickly. I just think making it back to where he made it last year after that injury is phenomenal. Just give him an off season to get all the way back and healthy and see what he has in the tank. Does it prevent me from drafting 2 running backs in this draft? Hell no, it doesn't. But if I can get if he comes back to be Nick Chubb for another season or possibly 2, man, that just raises everything up. Yeah,
I'm bringing him back. He's worth more to us than he is any other team because, before he even steps foot on the field, he has an impact on your culture, a major one. And I don't think they should be thinking about letting that go. So even if he fails to produce, you need him in the building if you want some sort of an identity as you turn back into what he was and the Browns were up until last year. No,
dude, 100%. I'm in.
All right. So Chubb, I'm bringing back, and I'm bringing in 2 rookies, and I'm bringing back Jerome Ford, and we'll see how that shakes out.
I like it.
Mike Ford, I mean, if you can have him back on a 1-year deal, that's fine. He can play special teams. He's been here for a year and a half now. If you can do better, you can do better. It doesn't matter, right?
You can get that guy. Those guys are gettable.
What about Dunn?
I thought they were going to move on from him so many times.
He's getting up there, though, isn't he?
Yeah. And you got to start bringing in, you got to be realistic about who your guards are and what are they going to be in 2 years? I mean, Joel might not even be here next year. So you drafted Zinter, you kept Javion Cohen around. This is a great draft to get another interior offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I think you make that move. And to me, that push is done out.
Okay.
But
I'm with you. No, I agree with you. Dante Foreman, good riddance.
I will never wrap my head around why they made the move. I think there was a role to be had, and they could never figure out their rotation. And then by the time Chubb came back, it was lights out.
I don't believe Cohen has been let go.
They signed him to a futures deal.
Yeah, he's on the futures deal. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
And they'll probably bring some guards in, and Cohen will probably be on the practice squad, but they like him a lot. Obviously, they were connected to him all throughout the draft process.
Yeah, he was supposed to get drafted. I mean, it was a good get in free agency. So
yeah, UDFA.
What do you want to do with Nick Harris? It's a tricky one.
I don't know, man. Like there was a point in time I had a lot of hopes for him. I liked his movement skills, but if you're going back to that style of offense where it's good to have spacing and get guys out on the edge, he can do those things. I'm just not sure he's built for this.
Really?
Yeah, a hard time holding up, man.
Yeah.
He's just always has. Like he's a smaller center, but like, I keep going back to that game on Christmas against Green Bay, watching him out there as a center pulling and getting out in open space and looking really good in doing so. But anytime he's been asked and been tabbed to be the guy, he's faltered.
Yeah. He's not the guy. The question is he depth? Pochich, Luke Whippler, and Harris is your centers right now.
I'm picking up a starting center, and Whippler's my backup.
Okay. And Harris is out.
Harris is out.
Okay. I even thought I don't know. Whippler's coming back from an injury. You have to evaluate that as you go, but it could be a fresh start in the center room.
Mm-hmm.
Not the center has a room.
New starter, that's for damn sure.
At the center position. Nyheim Hines, I mean,
I don't know. Like what?
Why?
Again, same thing with Deonta Foreman. Why?
Yeah.
Why did you do it?
And why did you do it, Andrew?
And activate him to make him, and then cut him. None of that made sense.
James Hudson, offensive tackle.
He's got to go. But the thing is, if you were going to do the thing that you're going to talk about with Jed, that you should have done with Hudson years ago. Should have made Hudson a guard years ago. You didn't do it. Move on.
They just didn't have enough tackles to do it.
But they kept. I don't know. Yeah, that's Jesus.
Calique Hudson.
If that's a real person, I owe you money. Keep him. I need him. Can't let that guy go. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Oh, Pochich is gone, brother. Pochich is out. He doesn't have any more. He's not on this list, but he's out of guaranteed money. So, at least in my eyes, Pochich.
Count me in. I'm out on Pochich.
See ya. Calique Hudson.
Is he related to Phoenix Sproles?
Phoenix Sproles' nephew.
That makes sense.
He's out. Maurice Hurst. I mean, if they'll sign for the minimum and bring him back, why not?
Yeah. Also, a guy who just can't stay healthy. He's talented. But this is a good defensive tackle room with another good defensive tackle draft coming up. Imagine he just gets squeezed out. Even if you do sign for the vet minimum, he's going to have a hard time making that 53.
He might, but I mean, when he has played, he's been great.
Mm-hmm. He's been serviceable for sure.
Jermaine Ifedi? No,
but if you told me that's like the bottom of the barrel for your depth, I'd feel okay. But he's got to be like the last guy.
Sad list for AB. I agree that this is a rough list here, man. Rodney McLeod is retired.
Already announced his retirement. Shout outs to Rod.
But
man.
but said in the interview, love Rodney McLeod, hilariously said in the interview, if they're getting in the playoffs late, give me a call. So
wouldn't hesitate either.
I wouldn't either. Elijah Moore, and people are gonna hate. Whoa, Elijah Moore are gonna hate this. I can't get off Elijah Moore. I love the kid. Love the guy. Congratulations on having a daughter. Just the other day. I'd bring him back.
If you plan on having a functional passing game, he's an asset. Every time that the passing game was functional, he was an asset. People always get hung up on hanging numbers on people. Look, man,
he's still 25 years old, Central Dog. He's 25. He's younger than most guys drafted the last few years.
He's a tertiary weapon. You need those dudes in the league. What's he willing to sign for is the question.
Yeah. No question. There's a money thing here involved. But if you can bring him back, and I don't think he's going to command that much, but if you can bring him back on a semi-reasonable $5 million deal, whatever, something between around there, right? 5 to 7.
I'd entertain that.
And maybe less. 3 to 7. 3 to 5 with some incentives, whatever. If you can bring him back, he busts his ass every season. He's been good for you when you've had functional quarterback play.
Yes.
He's a good route runner. I'm bringing him back.
For me, it's contract dependent, but he's an asset. Yeah. If he's willing to sign for something that's reasonable to be a tertiary type target, in that room, fine.
He may get better still because he busts his ass. I mean, he's a hard worker for real, and which is part of why I like him so much. If he gets pushed out of the room because you have so many good young receivers, great.
Great problem. This is a great problem to have.
Great. Yeah, team-friendly contract for sure. I don't think he'll want it. Charlie Chuck says will want to leave. I don't know about that. I feel like the Browns have showed him that they want him. He has not been an issue here like he was in New York. We'll just say that.
No. Yeah.
Right?
It's not been an issue here.
No, he's been great. James Prochet.
You can get that dude somewhere else.
If you need him.
I would rather see, look, in this same scenario, I'd rather see Elijah Moore return punts.
Yeah, great point.
If you have the same scenario, he actually gives you something in the receiver room, and I could envision him being a punt returner.
Swaim.
Dude, I'd rather have Whitebeard.
Yeah, give me Whitebeard all day. Is Whitebeard on a future?
No, dude. There's 2 tight ends under contract, and he's not one of them.
Those bastards. God damn it, Barry. Jed Wills done with that experiment.
Yeah. Dude, we can't. We
cannot
do it. We got as far as we could with the sunken cost fallacy. I get you put a pick on it, but man, we wasted some years trying to figure out this dude could play. And I let that be someone else's problem.
Yeah. So, and then Jameis Winston potentially depends on how the rest shakes out.
Yeah, it depends on how the room shakes out, how you see the future of it. But if you told me that you revamp the run game and you're going to bring back Jameis and throw it less than 32 times a game, I'm in. So
yeah. I mean, he's not going to be my plan A.
No.
But he can be my plan B. Yeah, he can be plan B.
But you have to have a running game, man. You got to get this dude under center and play actions. It can't be huck and chuck at football because you'll get what you get. You're going to get, if you throw that ball 56 times, there's going to be 3 or 4 balls that are put in peril.
White noise needs the Watson contract. I love that we went from it's white whatever, right? It's White Claw. It's White Noise,
Heart, which is actually a pretty boss name itself.
Whitebeard.
It's Whitebeard.
His name is White Heart, right?
Yeah, Blake.
Yeah. I love going to the everything but white heart for
White noise.
the chat gets it and they play their role so perfectly. White noise is a good one. I wouldn't have got that one. Well done. Winston is not plan D. Plan B, as in beard, as in white beard.
Can I give you my biggest beef with the Myles stuff?
White walls showed some promise. Go ahead.
Myles Garrett doing what he did during the Super Bowl week caused me not to be able to enjoy Jameis Winston being a correspondent for Fox. And I don't know if I'll ever forgive him for it.
So true. So true. You guys are great. All right.
I'm coming.
So that's the class, right?
Yeah.
So
Bush.
not break. Yeah, Bush. More.
Who else do we say yes to on that list? I'm not gonna be mad at Hurst.
Let me go back. Let me write them down.
Yeah,
Bush.
Nicholas Jamal. Yes, please.
Chubb.
Akins is another guy I would be mad at, but yeah, I think you can do better. So let's just do better
Akins.
and not worry about it.
Do better. Question mark. Do better. Especially with this draft is deep tight ends. You could go 2 tight ends in this class. Yeah. Calique Hudson, he's a lock.
Oh, for sure, dude. That's linebacker 1 right there.
Yeah.
I'm talking all this shit. He'll probably go to Baltimore and be a baller.
Yeah, Hurst is a question mark, but I'm bringing it back if he'll take the minimum.
I'm calling McLeod for the divisional round.
McLeod is a call me if we are in the playoffs.
When we're in the playoffs.
When we're in the playoffs. Elijah Moore, I'm good with up to a certain amount of money.
Same.
Prochet, practice squad, maybe. And the rest, Winston.
And I am not willing to scratch Jameis's name out until I see how the room shakes out.
Winston, plan B, maybe. You're not scratching his. You're taking a harder stance. I am not scratching his name out.
I'm not saying he can't be here until I see what else you do in that room and the direction you take it. I'm also admittedly higher on Jameis's upside than most.
It's an interesting comment from Ja. It's funny how some people are talking about bringing Carr to Cleveland. Most Saints fans want Winston back. LOL, especially since we got a Super Bowl winning play caller. They got. Oh, the Saints got. Yeah,
I'm telling you, if you watch what Jameis did under Sean Payton, it's like you can coach. You got to play it even, but you can get that kind of play out of Winston.
I believe you. I just didn't. We didn't see it.
We had 0 running game.
I know. You got to have a running game.
50 sometimes. And then all of a sudden the antics don't feel goofy. They feel dumb. Like when he's, all the goofy shit that when you're winning or being competitive, you can get away with. When you're throwing pick sixes that you can't, it's like, that's dumb.
When he's not playing well, the antics become cartoonish.
Yes, 100%.
And annoying at times. But when he's playing well, it's great. Yeah. Everybody loves it. Right? So, Charlie Chuck saying Daniel Jones talk makes me want to puke. Get used to it. Get used to feeling that feeling in your stomach about quarterback.
I can't get there with it.
You can't get there with Daniel?
Yeah, what's your favorite Daniel Jones play? Like when you think of in your head.
Yeah, I'm not there either. I'd rather have Cousins.
Yes.
In a heartbeat.
There's a lot of smoke in there.
The Cousins thing, it feels like almost impending. like it's gonna happen because I don't know what that was. The Cousins thing feels impending because of there's some smoke out there about his health, like that
He
he
wasn't
feels like
healthy.
he wasn't healthy and his play was hurt by that. So, 100%.
But there's risk there. I mean, not financially, because if you get him, it'll be on the cheap. So the risk won't be financial, but the risk is at his age, does he start feeling better throughout a season? Or is this just going to be his, his swan song?
Yeah. Who else are you looking at? So yeah, we're gonna talk about this later, but who else are you looking at real quickly, quarterback wise? Throw them up if you've got somebody you like that's off the board. Hot take. My guy is you know who my guy is, right? My off the board guy.
Cooper Rush,
Rush, I like.
your boy Cooper.
Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
I'll throw a dart at Kyle Trask. Do you like that?
I don't look. I can't think I've ever broken down Kyle Trask film.
I'm making fun. I wasn't asking. I wasn't asking you. I was looking at this. Do I like that? No. There's who else? Who else?
Well, my dream guy's not available. You're going to have to trade for him.
Who's that?
Exactly, Jeff. Malik Willis. That's my dream.
Oh God.
They already have a backup that they drafted. So just take Willis off their hands. Give them a day 3.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a 4th.
Yeah.
Like what he looked
Willis,
like in LaFleur's offense.
O'Rourke.
Damn it, Ray. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do the McCorkle Jones to me.
McCorkle. I'll pass on McCorkle. Would you rather have McCorkle than Daniel?
No, dude. Boy, that's really we're going to do between those two. I'd take Daniel Jones over those two.
Which Mr. Jones would you like?
I would take Daniel Jones over McCorkle Jones because then he at least brings his legs to the equation.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. Cooper Rush would win us 10 games. It will never happen because nobody's a believer like I am.
You are a believer. You were first on the train.
Cooper Rush would win. I mean, he won Cowboys a lot of games.
9-5 or something as a starter, maybe.
9-5 as a starter. Yeah.
Can't be mad at it.
Cannot.
Andy Dalton, Ray, you're just trying to bring me down.
Andy Dalton, would you consider it?
Is the Jameis replay? Like, if say you don't get Jameis, you take Andy instead as plan C?
Yeah, you would have to be your backup, right?
Yeah, okay.
Geno in a trade? I'm not in on Geno.
I mean, look, can he get you through a year? Yeah. Are you excited about it? No. But I'm not going to be excited about any of these dudes where I'm all super pumped.
No. I'm with you, Jeff. I'm with you, brother. Dalton, yep.
Now we're talking, Ray. Let's dream.
Yeah, most of them came without the new head coach.
Look at MC
with our new head coach.
The old goodie right there.
Oh, yeah. What? Oh, no. Yeah, they came with, what's his name? He says R. He's talking about the Saints. He's a Saints fan.
Yeah.
So, Kellen Moore. Kellen Mond. Oh, please no. Charlie likes Rush too. I'm telling you, he's a gamer, man.
You're leaving the parade.
What do you think of Derek Carr? Trade options.
Not excited.
Not excited.
No, man. I've just seen a lot of gotta have it downs where he just punts.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I hate to say it, man. A lot of these guys are naming up here. I'll just give me Jameis.
Really appreciate that, Josh. Saints fan who grew, who grew to really like you guys and gals. That's fantastic.
Jaw's a real one.
That's a real one right there. Let's just go get
Jesus.
Desmond Ritter and get this train rolling. Listen, man. Cousins is up there. Malik Willis trade. I'll listen to, the potential there. Brisket. You mean Brissett? A Brisket,
Just accept your fate and know that Josh Dobbs is coming back.
Jacoby Brisket. I'm good on Jacoby. I saw that movie. I don't think it's getting any better.
Yeah, I think that was the best he was ever going to play.
I think so too. Oh, wait. That reminds me. Real quickly, before we get out of here, we got 5 minutes. Let's do. Let me bring up the entire list. Okay, so reclamation projects that you would have in. Oh, so Aaron Rodgers has been the hot name. No, thank you, right?
Well, we just got the circus out of town.
Yeah, exactly. Would you trade for Joe Milton?
Trade what for Joe Milton is the question.
A 7 or 6.
Yeah.
I would do
7 or 6. We got multiple of each, brother. Let's roll. Yeah.
Okay, here's a good question. Where are you at with Justin Fields? Because I think, if you're making a legitimate list, he's on that list.
He's legitimate list, and he still has a ton of upside to him. I don't see him as a schematic fit. But if they brought him in, man, your room would still be better for it.
Yeah.
What about your boy Russell?
Darnold?
What about your boy Russell?
Oh, God, I know.
Talk about your boy Russell Wilson.
So Russell's not going back.
Yeah.
To Pittsburgh was the announcement. Something makes me think that Stefanski and Barry are going to like the idea of Wilson. I mean, as a passer, if you look at his work last year, he was pretty good, right?
Yeah, but he is who he's always been. I mean, he's check downs and moon balls, keeping it outside the numbers. Doesn't use the middle of the field too much. Your tight end is basically a non-factor when he's there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to bring that level of douchebaggery into the locker room. I think bringing that big of a douchebag in the locker room impacts the entire team.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Would you bring Flacco back
as a backup? If he's I'd still rather have James, but I get it. As a backup quarterback, yeah.
All right.
And I think that's his role. I don't think he's competing for starting jobs anywhere, so I think you're good there. You could do that.
Market value for Sam Darnold. Let me see what they have him at. $40.1 million. I think that's the
no.
Yeah. I think that's the franchise tag as well, which is probably why it's there. You're out on Darnold?
Darnold at $41 million? Yeah.
You wouldn't pay him that?
We can't, but besides the fact, no.
Would you pay him 30?
No.
Okay. I mean, you could. You'd have to push it into the future, but you could.
I just don't. I don't know.
Okay.
Small sample size. We don't have Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson.
Here's another bucket of names to look at: Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Taylor Heineke, Marcus Mariota.
No.
Jarrett Stidham.
No.
Josh Dobbs.
It feels inevitable, buddy.
Russell Wilson, Teddy Bridgewater, Jeff Driscoll, Tim Boyle.
God, we're doing this.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't know. Out of that, I think there's two dart throws in there in Lance and Wilson. You're not bringing those dudes in to be starters, but you bring them in to get them in your building and see what they got.
Are you the guy that likes Stidham? Do you like Stidham?
No, I am not a Stidham guy.
No. I feel like we've done this exercise way too
When we
many
talk
times.
quarterbacks, I pretty much hate all these guys.
Yeah.
They all sound like bad days. I'm seeing in the chat Garoppolo.
Let
They
me
not
ask you
able to
this.
make that work.
15 mil tops on Darnold. I think he's going to get more than that.
He's
Actually, I
going
don't.
to get he's priced out of where I think he should be, but
I don't think he gets out of Minnesota, to be honest.
see, I think they might just keep Daniel Jones and pay him what Darnold made
That
last
would be
year.
wild, man. That would be
KOC
wild.
might think he has it like that.
He may think he does. I don't think.
And
he
how much do
does.
they believe in JJ McCarthy? How much has he progressed in his rehab?
Dude, he looked very weak
Skinny.
and atrophy had set in after his 2 surgeries when he was on the sidelines. That one shot of him, he looked very meek. Now he can get it back, but all right. Listen, so the Browns don't often go into free agency for wide receivers because it's a bad process. You overpay guys often. If you do, you want to do it in the tertiary, aspect of. So, you're going to get Diggs, Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Williams, Robert Woods, Marquise Brown, Darius Slayton, KJ Osborne, Demarcus Robinson, Nelson Aguilar, Ashton Doolin, DJ Shark, Mac Hollins, Tyler Boyd, Zach Pascal, Zay Jones, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios, Nick Westbrook, Brandon Powell, Trent Sherfield, Rondell Moore, Justin Watson, Chris Conley, Tutu Atwell, Steven Sims Jr., Jamison Crowder, Kadero Hodge, Deontay Hardy, Van Jefferson, Gunnar Olszewski, Alameda Zacchaeus, Josh Palmer River, Car Crash, Rivercraft, Dynami Brown, who had a hell of a year in the
Zacchaeus,
playoffs.
really.
So did Zacchaeus as well. Sterling Shepard, Allen Robinson, Noah Brown, Juju Smith Schuster, DeAndre Carter, Tyler Johnson, Marquez Valdez Scantling, Dante Pettis, Jalen Rieger, Tim Patrick, James Prochet, David Moore, McCole Hardman. This list is ridiculous. Greg Dortch, Ben Skornick, Imir Smith Marset, Simi Fahico, Dwayne Eskridge, Terrence Marshall, Colin Johnson, Malik Taylor. All right, we ran out of names I recognize. Okay. Anybody jump off that page for you?
You've already taken Elijah Moore, so I'll say pretty appealing name on that list, right? But the two that popped off for me would be Mac Hollins and Greg Dortch.
Dortch, really?
Yeah, what about Dortch, baby?
There's a part of this list. So if I draw a line under it's hard to draw a line. What?
Charlie Chuck, make him stop. You're just rattling off names into the abyss.
Dude, it's an incredibly long list, right? Yeah. Like, that's insane.
Hey, but that's the life of a wide receiver, man. There's so many dudes that enter this league. There's going to be 20 that enter this league this year that push the guys at the bottom of that list out of the league. And,
So there's a part of this list that intrigues me. So when you go DJ Shark,
I've always been a DJ Shark guy, but at some point it's not worked so many places.
Right. But Shark, Hollins, Tyler Boyd, Zach Pascal, Zay Jones, and Elijah Moore are all next to each other. Those all feel like relevant guys.
Yeah, and they fit what we said, tertiary, right?
Tertiary guys, yeah, that could help you, potentially.
I like Greg Dortch in the slot, dude.
KJ Osborne. Anybody higher than that?
Did you think Tim Patrick and all that mess?
Huh?
And all that mess? Did I miss Tim Patrick's name?
He's on there. Yeah.
he'd be someone I'd be interested in as well.
What about Marquise Brown? He'll probably be too expensive.
Maybe, I don't know. Is he at this point? I don't know. Like, what did he put on tape this year that leads me to believe he's a double-digit guy? If he's gonna get 6 to 7 million to be a field stretcher, you can use that.
Yeah, they got his market at 8.
Okay.
So if you can get him for 1 year for 7 or 8,
be a field stretcher, man.
He's fast. He's fast as shit.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Dyami Brown was amazing, and Zacchaeus was amazing in Washington.
I find hard to believe the Commanders let both of those guys go.
I find if I were them, I would be making sure I kept Brown because he looks like a bona fide stud.
Yeah, he was a big play guy for them,
and showed up huge in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's just an introductory let you know who's on this list moment here on All Eyez on Cleveland. We're gonna get out of here though. You guys are the best, man. This chat is the greatest chat in all the land. They're knowledgeable, great insight. Pick up the slack for us when we're momentary lapses.
I blanked earlier.
I mean, you guys are truly the best chat in all the world, and we appreciate you guys contributing to the show. Jeff saying, "Bring back Josh Gordon." If only.
What if?
For Jubilee Dunbar, are we making up names? I love that game. Phoenix Sproles. Where is he now? Hudson. He's on a boat watching boat videos somewhere. Vince Papoli.
Invincible.
Yep. Invincible. Charlie Chuck watching some other football. Finland 1, USA 0.
Well, 6 Nations are going on if anybody wants to watch rugby.
Dunbar actually played for the Browns in the early 1970s. Not a fake name. Phoenix Sproles is not a fake name either.
Sure.
Real man.
Sure he is.
Allegedly.
That's like a creative player or anything.
Liked he's the cousin of Darren Sproles. So he has to be real. And he likes
houseboat videos.
Lover of house and boat videos. Not houseboat videos. House and boat videos. Because who the fuck doesn't want to watch videos about houses and boats? Whatever the hell that means. And wants to put it in their profile. Hockey. Sorry, not soccer. Apologize. With that, we're going to get out of here. Hope you enjoyed another edition of All Eyez on Cleveland. Any parting words for everybody, Casey?
Yep. Check it. Super Bowl champion.
Oh, you're wearing it. Super Bowl champion. Small hands. Big dreams. Leave him off the list. Not coming here. Not going to happen.
He's collecting rings, baby. He ain't got time for this.
Collecting rings. Give me a break.
How many Super Bowl snaps you taking?
Oh, I love that. Best Brown show of the week. Appreciate you, Philly. You rock, man. Dick Trickle.
What? Why you got to do that?
That's what Jeff.
You a race car driver? Wasn't Dick Trickle a race car driver?
Dick Trickle. Don't forget Dick Trickle. Interesting. Is the ring bigger than his head? Great question.
No way.
Can they make a ring small enough that stays on his finger?
That's the question, right?
The question is, does he walk around with it falling off on the ground all the time? And he has to be like, oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Do you think you could beat Kenny Pickett in thumb wrestling?
Yes. I guarantee I could.
We got to set this up.
Kenny, if you get wind of this, we made shirts of you. I challenge you to a thumb wrestling contest. and I'm willing to put upwards of $100 on it.
Big money. I like it.
Love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. See you. I'll see you guys tomorrow night on Things I Think I Know. And with that, we're going to get out of here. Casey Kinnamon, always fantastic. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Casey_Kinnamon. The man, the myth, the legend. Nobody does it better. Dick Trickle, fair hooker, hard and long.
Only one of those played for the Browns, I think.
What is it? Mike? Oh, I'll think of it.
Kenny Pickett's at your door, ready to tear your thumb apart.
Yeah, Pickett's here. He's been flexing his thumb. Hooker did. What are you guys talking about? Dick Trickle, fair hooker, hard and long. You trying to trick me into say something? I hate to think I just did. Are short fingers an advantage in thumb wrestling, like arm length in the bench press? I don't think so. I think a long thumb is the way you do it, because you got to get around it and pin it, you know? It's like, so the short thumb,
got nowhere to hide, baby.
He got nowhere to hide. I'd pin him in seconds.
That reach, man. I'll come for you.
His little nub of a thumb wouldn't even be able to move. Does he have a knuckle on that thing? Anyways, let's get out of here. Thanks, Casey. You're the best, man. Thank you, chat. Love you all. Tune into the OBR.com. The insiders are doing things over there, and they are dialed in. So keep it locked to the OBR. Appreciate you guys all watching. Hit like and subscribe on your way out. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. For Casey Kinnamon, my name is Brad Ward. We are out.